In today's video, guys, we are going to be discussing the top 25 most improved players in FIFA 23. Now, of course, it's very subjective, and EA have given quite large boosts to some players and not so big boosts to other players that maybe you think deserve more or maybe less. It's just a bit of interesting reading, really, to see what they think. Can you guess the two players there by the tops of their head? I'm guessing you guys will know who that right side player is. We're going to get straight into it. It's purely based off ratings. They're not actually talking about goals and assists and stats and stuff like that, but we're going to be looking at their overalls and how much they've improved over the last 12 months, basically. So you probably guessed it right. It is, of course, Anthony Gordon on that right side. I'm a big fan of Gordon. I think he is a truly great prospect. And it's great that he's at Everton and stayed at Everton. I was really worried he was going to move to Chelsea when he was linked. That would have been a bad move for now. I think in the future, for sure, he can do that. But staying at Everton, he's an Everton lad. I think he's come through their academy. And he's quite literally their shining light at the moment. Big fan of his. And actually, I thought he'd get a higher rating than 85. I honestly think he could have easily got a 76, maybe even a 77. On the left side, we've got Ramsey, who has had a fantastic breakthrough at Aston Villa. Big fan of his as well. And he's learning from one of the best players to ever play in that position, Steven Gerrard. So I expect Ramsey to improve even more. Is 75 fair for both these players? Which is a coincidence, by the way. We're not going from 75s all the way up to 80s. It's just in order of who had the most growth. So these guys went up by 8 this season. They've both gone up by 8, which is well-deserved, but maybe some of these players were just ranked too low last year. They were given a bad rating when they should have had a better one. But anyway, what a way to start the video. Let's move on. Next, we have Pep Biel. I don't know too much about him. I'm not going to lie, guys. But he's had a +8. He plays at Cam. I wish it showed you how old these players were. It would have been quite nice because some of them I don't know. But that is a hell of a upgrade for a player I've not heard of. So clearly he's had a very good season at Copenhagen. He is Spanish as well, which, you should be able to get into your teams relatively easily. Looks like he could be one of those kind of very underrated players to get early on in Ultimate Team or even in a career mode. And I'm guessing a lot of these players are going to have very high potential as well, because a lot of them are going to be young players. But on the right, we have, I think, one of the future breakout players that we're going to see move to a giant club. And that is, of course, Quadio. I think that's how you say it. Kone. Plays for Mönchengladbach. He's a tall, strong midfielder. And he had a fantastic season at Mönchengladbach. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, live on video. That one hurt. Kone, honestly, truly believe, just ignore the fact that he's French and the French keep coming up with these incredible young players. Doesn't matter. He is a top quality player. Bayern Munich. Give it a year or two. He will be at Bayern. Really big fan of his. +8 for both of these players as well. Moving on down, we've got Fratesi and we've got Hugo Duro. Again, don't know too much about either of these players. I haven't seen enough of them, but they've both had a +8 for this year's game, and clearly they've had very good seasons. Sassuolo obviously lost a very good player in Locatelli. Maybe this is the new Locatelli. And Hugo Duro, striker, very good, well, very decent stats, I should say. Would have been nicer to see some more pace there, maybe. But the 76 shooting, the 76 dribbling, very decent for a 77 rated player. But plays for Valencia as well, over in the Spanish league. Very good upgrades for these two players. Now we're talking. On the right side, we have Hincapier. I think that's how you say it. Hincapier. This guy can play centre-back, can play left-back. I signed him in my Roma career mode, I believe it was. And he's really good. Very pacey. They've given him a left-back position. But actually, I think he's probably going to be better as a centre-back. He's quite a strong player. And he's had a great season for Leverkusen. +8 for him as well. Let me just go down a little bit so you can see that. And then we've got Undav from Brighton. Also has a +8. This is quite a lot, if you ask me. I think he's a good player. And Brighton need more goals for sure with Mopai leaving. But is Undav the answer? I don't know, but it's a bit of a stinker, isn't it, with the 68 pace? Still a +8 rating, very decent. We're looking at our first 80 rated players now. We've got Aaron Ramsdale on the right side, and we've got Raum on the left. New player for RB Leipzig, of course. Pacey, he was a silver, wasn't he? I remember getting his silver card for my silvers team. What a season he's had. Also getting a +8, and that is a very nice card. And on the right, Ramsdale, you guys know he's been incredible for Arsenal. He's had a few games where I've kind of been a bit suspect of some of his decision making, but he's still so young, and he's a very popular figure in the Arsenal side. A +8 for him as well, 82 rated. Is he going to be the starting goalkeeper for England at the World Cup? Pope, Pickford, even Dean Henderson maybe up there? Oh, it's going to be a tough one. Obviously, I want Ramsdale to start, but I think it will be Pickford. Going on down, we have another two players here. We have +9s now. We're going up +9 in 1 year of FIFA. We have Gusto on that left side. He's a right back that plays for Lyon, and honestly, I think he might be one of the go-to right back signings in career mode. 86 pace. I mean, he's rapid. He's going to have a huge potential this year. I really honestly believe he's going to be a great player. And actually, again, I've signed him before. I signed him in my Paris career mode. Not PSG, but the Paris team. And he went the whole way. It was on stream, and my God, he was incredible. And then we've got Sutalo, 78 pace centre-back. I don't know how tall he is, so that might be worth looking out for that, because if he's tall as well, you've got an extremely good, almost hidden gem. Big fan of centre-backs that are a bit unique. They're not your run-of-the-mill centre-backs, and I think that's what his card looks like to me. He's going to be a bit of everything. Really like that. We're going to go on now to two very good players. We have Calulu of AC Milan. Now, looking at this card, obviously you see the pace, but actually I think he plays as a right back sometimes as well, doesn't he? So it might be worth giving him a go as a right back or a centre back in your career modes. You could probably get away with playing him in both positions. He's going to be a fantastic player, and he's French. Again, another top French quality player. And then we've got Wimmer, Austrian right mid, very decent stats. I believe he's been linked with a move away at some point. +9 for him as well. Very, very big upgrade. +9. I don't think you guys realise how rare that's been over the years. You don't really see that too often. And the fact that we're starting this video today with just +8s just goes to show a lot of young players have been given big upgrades for this year's game. We're almost in the top 10. Let's go down a little bit more. We have Jed Spence and we have Rutter. Don't know too much about Jorginho Rutter, but looks like a fairly decent striker. Oh, look at that. He's French and he's got pink hair. But of course, Jed Spence, if you've been watching the MGH United career mode with his modded face, he's been absolutely fantastic. And he has a +10. Unbelievable. From 65 to 75 in 1 year. He's barely played for Tottenham yet, which I find very, very strange. I saw the highlights of their Champions League game against Sporting, and my God, Emerson Royale looked awful. So if Spence doesn't start soon, I'll be very, very surprised. But a +10 for both of those players. And now we're breaking into the top 10 most improved players. First of all, we have Singo, right wing back, not the quickest. So I'm wondering, could he be a bit tall? I don't want to say too tall to be a right back because there's no such thing, but you'd think if he was a typical right back, he'd have a bit more pace. So maybe he could be a centre back. I don't know, but huge upgrade again from 66 to 76. And then we've got Schlotterbeck. I don't know how was he 72 rated last year. He'd already had a pretty decent year. And then, of course, he exploded. He got the move to Dortmund, and that is a very, very good card. Very, very good. And I think he'll be a very popular signing after a season or two because you need left-footed centre-backs, and that's exactly what he is. +10s. Mental. Up next, we're going up to +11 and then a +12. And guess what? It's another French talent, and it's another centre-back, Lucaba. This could be the new, I don't know, the new Tielemans, the player that everyone signs in career mode. What a player. I honestly cannot believe how high rated he's come out. I wasn't expecting it to be a 76. I know everyone's talking about him over in France, and it's a crazy thing because they've got so many good centre-backs coming out. French players, just unbelievable. Think of Upamecano, he's had his moment, and now it's Lucaba. Fran Navarro, again, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't know too much about him. Doesn't look like a particularly fantastic card at the start. But again, young player, you can grow him into a fantastic striker. Plus 12. I mean, what? Plus 12? That is absolutely insane. Moving on, almost in the top 5 now. Basically in the top 5, we have Casale, not Leon, Lazio, it's definitely not Leon, Lazio player, a young Italian, again, very good prospect, and Italians are very good at defending. We've seen so many great Italian centre-backs over the years. And then on the other side, we've got Vitina. I had no idea that he was so low rated at the beginning of last year. In the space of a year, he's gone up by 12. What? Mental. And actually, I don't think that's a fair rating. He could be even higher. 79, I think, might be a little bit on the low end. For me, anyway. For a big money move to PSG, you've got to be a good player, haven't you? Okay, we're now moving on to plus 13 and plus 14. Amari, another French centre-back. Now, you could buy him. So imagine Amari and then Lucaba as your centre-backs. You're sorted for 10 years in career mode. A plus 13 for him. He's going to have a huge potential as well. And then we have Livramento. Now, this it's stupid because there's no way he was only 61 rated last year. I mean, what? Did they see him play? You can see how good of a player he is. It's just a bad rating from last year to a good rating this year. And potentially still on the low side. I was expecting Livramento to get maybe a 77, something like that. But anyway, let's move on to the most improved player for FIFA 23. It is, of course, the brand new signing at PSG, Ekitike. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with his pace, to be honest. And I don't necessarily think he's going to break into the PSG first team and play regularly yet. But what an incredible journey for him. And a plus 15. That is mental, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. He almost joined Newcastle, and they've gone for Isaac instead. So I guess it worked out for them. But there you have it, guys. A plus 15. And we had an Arsenal player. Can you believe it, guys? We had an Arsenal player. I'm super excited to bring more videos out like this. I'm looking forward to, bringing out more about, just the highest potential players. Everyone looks out for that every year. But you are seeing some of them here. A lot of these players, if you exclude dynamic potential, they're going to hit the late 80s, the high 80s. So we might actually be looking at quite a few of the best, highest potential players in the game anyway. But there's a couple missing here that I thought maybe we would have seen. But I'm pretty happy with most of them. It's just maybe a couple of them are a little bit low, and maybe a couple of them maybe a little bit high. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.